Becca Forsythe reporting for the Elmira Poor People's Campaign. One of the things that we talk about in the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, is changing the narrative. We know that we change the narrative by changing the narrator. We have to speak our own truth. We are taking on the disinformation campaigns and the limited definitions of poverty that we are being sold and revealing the truth about the 140 million poor people in the United States. I want to take a quick minute to talk about what that actually means. What is a false moral narrative? It is the lie that says if these millions of people would just act better, work harder, complain less, and pray more, they would be able to lift themselves out of their own miserable conditions. Another lie we hear is that despite our nation's abundance, there isn't enough for us to all survive and thrive. There simply isn't enough to go around. These lies are supported by a network of interlocking evils that work together to oppress poor people. In the 1960s, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King called out the triplets of evil: systemic racism, poverty, and the war economy. Today we are still fighting those triplets, but we also recognize ecological devastation and this combination of lies that are repeated over and over again until they are believed. I have spent some time thinking about our good old Uncle Sam. I've often wondered what it would be like if he had a little sister. As I myself was a little sister, I can remember what it was like to hear things like, "Mom and Dad love me best," or "I bet you were adopted." Did your brother say, "Mom and Dad bought that toy for me, you can't play with that"? Is that really any different than the unfair immigration system and white nationalism that says some deserve privileged living while threatening the lives and precious diversity that truly founded this country? We watch children being locked in cages for committing the crime of not being born on the right piece of dirt, but we say, "Bring me your tired, your weak, your huddled masses yearning to be free." Or perhaps you grew up hearing things like this.
Listen, you little wiseacre. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Are stories like this the justification for the colonialism and destabilization the United States has caused all over the world? Or what the unrestrained expansion of the military is bringing back home to our own city streets? It's true that everything we ever needed to know we learned in kindergarten, but the world has worked very hard to divert and subvert that message ever since. All we need to do is share, play fair, clean up after ourselves, say sorry, learn, sing, dance, wonder, and love. The poor are robbed from participating in so many aspects of this peace and happiness. One of the hardest parts of being poor today is the outrageous expense we pay and the attention violence we suffer that refuses to see these injustices and acknowledge the human and economic costs of inequality. Currently, 53 cents out of every discretionary dollar from the federal government goes to military spending, and only 15 cents is spent on anti-poverty programs. It's time for the nation to have its own spiritual awakening. If silence was betrayal in 1968, revival is necessary today. We draw on the histories of resistance that echo their truth down through the centuries and the power of the blood that has been shed through the generations of struggle. In remembrance of those who lost so much to give us the opportunity to stand today, we need to open up and share our own truth. It is important for each of us to confront these evils. They don't own who we are or how we got where we are. It's up to us to set the record straight and demand that our own needs be met. We can only achieve these goals if we choose to move forward together and not one step back. If you're ready to share your story today, reach out to the Elmira Poor People's Campaign.